Hello everybody. So I am just gonna do a talking video today, um, kind of about like what's been going on, as far as like WoW is concerned and everything. So little inside baseball on it is I've been tanking for man going on 20 years. Let's see, 19 years technically. So I started in 2006, 2007, in the middle of Burning Crusade on this druid. So never really struggled with like anxiety from it, honestly. Um, but this expansion, I was like, well, I'm gonna play Hunter, and that way I'm not stressed out, everything's fine, and the more I did it, the more I felt, I don't know, like it was wasting my time. I was just like, this isn't, I'm hitting like four buttons, like this isn't exciting. I mean, even BM was very bare bones, very boring. Um, So, yesterday I decided, I'll level the druid up. Maybe I'll play Feral. Feral's a little bit more complicated. And then the more I did that, I leveled it in as Guardian because it's faster, it's easier, blah blah blah. And I really miss tanking. Like I don't know, it's like a weird codependency I have with this role in this game. It's like if I'm gonna play an MMO, I'm probably gonna tank. That's just who I am. So I end up capping yesterday and stuff, and then I'm like, okay, I do my crafting, I do my delves, I do all the stuff to get geared up, for the most part. And now I have weird, like, tank anxiety, right? Now, a lot of people will blame the WoW community. They're like, oh, well, people are just assholes in groups and blah, blah. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't happen. It does. But it doesn't happen nearly as often as I think people love to say it happens. I'm on my Hunter, I probably ran 30, 40 keys this week, and maybe had 5 instances where, like, people were, like, less than stellar. And it was always some DPS who was clearly fucking up. Like, on stream the other day, I had a dude, come in, and he was like, we were doing a boss on in Skyreach, and the mechanic is the boss puts beam out, and then you need 3 people to soak it. Usually it's the DPS who soak it, so I'm on my Hunter, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna soak this beam. Standing there, like before the beam even spawns, I'm right where I need to be. This fucking Moonkin comes and just takes my beam, and then pings out another beam. So he comes, takes mine, and then tells me to move. And then gets all ragey, right? Then he gets mad because he says later on that the DPS weren't targeting something and it caused everybody to die and blah blah blah, and he had the least amount of damage on the damn thing, and just your average piece of shit, just what. But you're gonna find that anywhere, dude. You can find that going to the damn grocery store. It's not necessarily a WoW specific problem. That's just this world is full of morons problem. Now, again, I'm not saying this doesn't happen. I've been tanking a long time. I've been insulted many times. Oh, your route sucks. Oh, you're blah blah blah. I've never been called squishy, to be fair, but I've been criticized for my routes. I've been criticized for the speed. I've been criticized for going too fast. And it's not like tanking's harder now than it was before. I think it's different, but it's not harder. Honestly, it's kind of the same. It's the same in some ways and different in others, obviously. But like, I don't know. I'm 42 now, and I've been playing this game for literally half my life, and I'm just I just have this like weird like I'm not. I know in most cases I'm not going to get yelled at, but the threat of it sometimes is enough to make you. Oh, do I really want to do this? Maybe I should go heal. Maybe I should go DPS or whatever. Or maybe I shouldn't do any dungeons at all. Maybe I should do something else in the game. Or maybe I should play a different game or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? There's like a million things that go through your head. Especially with like some, like, you know, like Skyreach has a very basic route. I mean, you just kind of go move forward, do it. But then you have like Walsara Caverns that has like all these optional pulls. It feels very Zul'Aman-ish. Like there's a lot of pulls, there's a lot of, you know, skips and stuff, and you know, you got to decide what to pull, if you're going to pull it, blah blah blah. What more can I get? Dude, alright. You know, there's all those things, so it's one of those things where you just don't know, like, it's like I'm getting in my head about it. I'm like, oh, I gotta fucking pull, I gotta practice these routes. But then the big problem is, especially for newer tanks, is there's not a reliable way to practice your route. Like, you can do follower dungeons, right? And that's fine. But in a follower dungeon, those fucking things will pull everything. You can't skip anything in a follower dungeon, because they're just gonna pull it all anyways. And you can stare at a, you know, MDT map all you want, but it's never going to replace like going in there and doing the dungeon. So while I'll get in there and I'll get it done or whatever, for the, you know, newer tanks, is like I've seen this talked about where there's just like not nearly as many people tanking and healing. Healing I get, because they changed the way the add-on system works, and for a lot of people it was kind of a, well, that's it for me because I can't, you know. I mean, I don't understand Blizzard's take on it. They're like, we don't want you guys to have a color on your fucking UI to tell you when there's something to dispel. There's like a million dispels. Like, there's so many dispels that healers are picking what to dispel, not just dispelling it when it comes on the screen. So, I don't know, it's just one of those fucking weird things, I guess. Was that the last one? No, okay. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of talk about, like, how I'm feeling about it and stuff. Tanking is something I'm so passionate about, and Burning Crusade was such a good time for tanks. And arguably harder than we have now, right? So while we didn't have Mythic Plus, we had target caps, like really bad target caps. You know, like you were a druid, hypothetically, like you were a druid, you couldn't just like run in and swipe everything. So swipe had a target cap. Swipe only hit 3 targets. So you go in there and you swipe and you hit 3 targets, but the groups, they weren't going to let you just pull 3 targets, dude. Like, half the pulls weren't even 3 targets. Half the pulls were 5, 6. So the idea was that you had people using crowd control. But then, you know, now remember, this is like actual Burning Crusade, not what Classic is, because gotta remember, Classic, while I love it, is more people have had 20 fucking years to perfect this content. They know what classes are the best, they know what specs were the best, and blah blah. Back then we didn't know that stuff, and gaming was just different back then in general. There was way less information readily available. Wowhead wasn't even a thing. We called it Thoughtbot. But there sure as shit weren't class guides on there. It was like you asked your friends, like, hey, what add-ons do you like to use? What do you blah, blah, and people would give you, you just word of mouth mostly. I mean, there were fan websites and stuff, but it wasn't nearly as robust as it is now. So, like, once the tech caught up and people were like, oh, I can use a prop paladin and they don't need to use crowd control and they can just hold threat, and it's like this thing. And back then we thought only warriors could be tanks. Hell, even druid tanks were kind of like, what the hell is this? You know, people didn't really understand it. All right, that's a cap on knowledge right there. Very good. So, anyway, you know, we had high stressful situations, but I don't know why I'm having weird tanking anxiety to just jump in there. I've timed all of them on 10 on my hunter. And, you know, like, I could just say fuck it and just play Feral. Feral's doing pretty good right now. I get to play Feral and or Moonkin and Resto even and call it a day, but one, I fucking hated healing last expansion. And I want to tank, I gotta get over this weird mindset I have about it, I guess. It's old people problems, I suppose. But I just wanted to yap a little bit about kind of where my head's at and what I'm going to be working on. I'm going to break down and, you know, start getting these keys done and blah 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 and everything. And I will pug for the most part because I have yet to find a guild worth of shit in this game since the time when I was running guilds about the Legion. So guilds just seem like a gigantic waste of my time. There's always some drama. There's always like, they say one thing, they do another, they give loot to somebody and break the loot rules, they, you know, you got some weird, like, marital problem, or blah, 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 blah. There's always something. And it's like, it's virtually impossible to get into a guild as a tank anyway. It's funny because there are way more people willing to tank in raid than there are in dungeons. I'm not sure why. It's a thing. Weird thing. Still a thing. So anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about like where my head's at and what I'm personally gonna be working on. So on Wednesday, I'll be streaming stuff for keys, plug keys. Probably have one of my friends come with me as a healer, and hopefully I can get over whatever mess I'm dealing with right now. I don't know. I'm just weird space. But all right, guys, thanks for listening. Bye.